Hi. In this video, I want to talk about our past lives and how some of the decisions that we have made has really caused us a lot of trouble. Now, I don't really have like a clear idea and everything I'm going to share, but I've been doing some quick scans. It's more like working with people who have issues in life and they're wondering why. So we're looking into their past lives, we're doing past life recall, we're helping them to look at like just remembering what they have done and then looking like how is it impacting them today. Anyway, there's a lot of limitations from that in a way of and look at yourself today and where do you see your own weaknesses? Where do you see your life in a place where it could be better or improve? In a way of, let's say, communication. A lot of people have this issue with speaking the truth, sharing what's in their mind, sharing their feelings, or even that responsibility or having the power. Responsibility of having your own business and, whether you're successful or failing, like at least you're going to do it, or using your abilities and then, oh my God, it's a bit too much. What if I'm going to hurt someone if I keep on doing this? There's like a lot of variations where people see that they should live life through love and never hurt anyone else, never get into the argument. There's a lot of variations. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not clear. It's just, there's just so much in the background of the subject that's really heavily charged that it's impossible to cover everything about a subject unless I was to be very clear and make subjects and make them short about very tiny little bits of tons of these aspects. Anyway, it's just that I've been working with people who have communication issues, who have relationship issues, who have issues with being successful or, being in charge and having the fear of like being in that place. And we're looking into why. And a lot of these past lives are charged with trauma, communication, relationships, right? So we're looking at this subject. It's again very broad, but people who have issues expressing themselves, communicating the truth, communicating how they feel, usually, if we track back their past lives, have a lot of traumatic incidents. And there's so much charge and emotions and regrets and trauma and guilt and feeling wrong and bad about what has happened that those decisions and beliefs and let's say psychosomatics kind of has a bleed-through effect and does impact this life. Imagine just a weird sci-fi or fantasy scenario. Your lover or your friend or your family member has been caught and now they're, threatened to death and you have to show up and you have to speak up. And something you say will reveal information or give people some insights. And you can either say something to protect what you have, say something to protect your lover or not communicate. And in those moments, people try to do their best to protect what's most precious to them. You just watch a lot of movies where if you don't do this, I will kill them or I will do something bad. And we're put in these situations where every single decision you make is going to have the result that will hurt you one way or the other. It's either, not protecting your tribe, not protecting your people, not protecting someone you love, not protecting your planet or something else. And there's just so much guilt there where you haven't been good enough. Maybe you say too much. Maybe you reveal too much. And these situations where it's like, you're going to say your lover and you reveal some information, but now your tribe is mad because it was just so precious to them. And it's like, hey, we were trying to protect this secret and like keep our technology safe or whatever the scenario might be. So now your tribe is mad at you. They abandon you. You no longer have your family. You no longer belong anywhere. And your lover is killed anyway. And there are a lot of incidents like this where it's just like heavily charged. A lot of relationships where we communicate, where we say too much, where we say how we feel, and the result is still the opposite of what we have expected. And there's just so much trauma charged from that. Or people who in this life are in a way afraid of having your own business, afraid of success, afraid of getting big. The idea itself might be great. Oh yeah, I would love to have like a few $1,000,000. I would love to win a lottery. I would love this. And then we look at, you're going to be known your whole life for he or she has won a lottery. Not like you have achieved something, not like you have done something good, not like you have some legacy behind, or this is a person who lived a happy life and is an example of, no, it's just going to be a person who has won the lottery, the lucky one. And you're like, no, like I have suffered so much, I have done so much, I've done a lot of reading, I've done tons of things, and no one gives a damn. You're just a winner, a lucky whoever. So with these situations of, let's say, having the power, where, yeah, you have the power and you're going to get in the way of, like, let's say, well, you're going to protect your own people, or you're going to do something, and then let's just say you accidentally hurt your friend. Or even in this life, you might have had those situations where you might lie about something or accidentally hit your mom, or, like you break someone's favorite toy or thing, and you see the reaction and you decided from this moment on, I will never ever do this again. So you live a life of having full freedom, being carefree, having the power to create and do so many things. And then you see how those actions eventually hurt someone. Unintentionally, it wasn't what you wanted, but accidentally, even your best intentions has led to someone being unhappy and actually having this severe reaction of someone being hurt. And you're like, oh my God, this is not what I wanted. And we start feeling bad, wrong, and guilty to the point where we start hating our own powers, ourselves for making that decision. And so we put ourselves in the cage, making decisions from this moment on, I will never act like this. I will never be this. And it's like, think of having a hatchet and you, this powerful being, carefree, who has everything. It's like you start chopping yourself up because of the decisions you've made, because, you're feeling guilt, because of how you react to others. But you constantly chop yourself to the point where it's like self-sabotage, and you're trying to fit in, you're trying to please everyone else. And all those things shape how we live this life. It's not necessarily just that we are being suppressed by entities or other ETs or their various groups, and even the matrix and the system and the way everything else works. Yeah, there are tons of factors of why we're limited. But as we go the rabbit hole, we have to take accountability that most of these incidents and how we live this life, even as we are being suppressed sometimes by someone else, most of the suppression comes from ourselves, from within, from how we react and how we want to fit in. And it's not just this life, but everything else that has happened before this life, and all those decisions and everything, like all those traumas. Like, again, in a way, I'm very sorry that this is so broad, but just the idea itself, that look at the place in life where you feel weak, where you feel limited, where you feel suppressed, where something's not the way you would like it to be. And then think of, okay, if it's hard for you to remember a past life, just, okay, you don't have to remember anything. But if you were to write a book, if you were to create a movie or a TV show, or even just this one little paragraph, an essay, think of yourself as a sci-fi or a fantasy writer, and what would have to happen in a life? What would this person have to do, and what would you have to do to get to the point where you yourself are limiting your abilities? You've been psychic, or like, let's say, okay, people want to be psychic. So why do you not have psychic abilities? Not like someone else has done it to you, but you to yourself. How are you limiting yourself? This is like the biggest blockage, because we're going to have incidents of where we are the victim. Everyone else, absolutely everyone has that, being a victim of certain incident. But then we do it to others. There's definitely going to be a lifetime where the thing that has happened to you, you have done to others. We have to understand that we're not all good boys and girls. We have done a lot of bad stuff that we don't remember, that we don't want to confront, that we might not want to agree with, but being able to confront that dark side, so to speak, not necessarily to owe up to your mistakes, or like, it's not even a mistake, it's an experience. It is good. It's okay for you to remember that, okay, you've done that. It gives you an insight, because we have done good, bad, and wrong, and everything else. We've done it all. So just being able to confront and to be aware of it is good. But then we have lives where we see others do it to others, and that as well hurts us. It's like, oh my God, we're looking at people like in Ukraine and Russia fighting each other, and it just makes you sad. Or we're looking at the government suppressing people and how they're not able to afford their bills, how they're poor, how they're not able to survive. Or we're looking at the shoplifters, people who come in stores and steal everything, and no one can fight back. No one can do anything because the laws right now are against people. Well, damn, it just makes you mad. You just look at other parties, not yourself, not someone else, but there's two different groups and you're not involved, but it hurts you still. And the last one is you doing it to yourself. And this is the hardest one to confront. But I think that one also has the most charge. If you look at, if it was not you being a victim, not someone else hurting you, if it was not you doing it to someone else, if it was not you watching other groups doing it to others, but you doing that to yourself, what would that scenario have to be like so that you would have this limitation on Earth? Not having any psychic abilities? Well, how did you limit yourself? Well, you've had psychic abilities. You could fly, you could read minds, you could read thoughts, just like recall all the past life memories, you can lift rocks and everything else. And there's a day when someone pisses you off and you just, drop a mountain on them, like, oh, whatever, you just pissed me off, or you got jealous or something, and you have this reaction, you kill someone, you hurt someone, you do something, and then like, shouldn't have done that. God damn it. But you do something to the extent where you really are mad at yourself. Have you ever gotten mad at yourself to the point where you were hitting the wall, or felt so bad that like, gosh, you're just going to get drunk, you're going to use drugs, you're going to do something so bad to yourself that, like, I have to win it up. And it's not someone else hitting you, it's going to be you hitting yourself. You feeling that kind of guilt where you want to punish yourself. This kind of emotion, that's strong, where in our past lives we decide, no, these abilities, me being psychic, me being able to read minds, god damn, I just hurt someone and I hate that. I hate when I get into other spaces. Or, any kind of decision. What would you have to do or experience so that you yourself would limit yourself in a point of, I will not have psychic abilities, I will not be successful, I shouldn't be involved in any relationships, or, you get hurt too many times, and like, there's going to be tons of decisions. It's not just you to yourself, like I mentioned, you being the victim, like you being abandoned, you being left, you being, tortured, or something else happens, you doing it to others, someone else doing it to someone else, and you doing it to yourself. We have to know that there's so many variations, and it all happens. And to recall all of that is freaking hard. People can do that, of course. Do you want to? Not really. There's a lot of pain. Remembering past lives is not really fun. You have to confront it. Oh God, I did that? Ooh. I wish I would have not known that. Like, goddamn. It's like driving a truck with a bunch of logs as a load, and you drop a log, but you did not know about it. But the log fell off the truck and smashed a few cars and killed people. But you just drive off not knowing about it. You live your life freely. And then you're like looking back, and there was a time when I was driving a truck, 50 years later, right? And we're like, felt something wrong. Like, what if a log fell off? And you start doing research, right? You're getting like your past life memory back. You look at the articles, you look on the internet, and like, it was my car, my truck, I dropped a log, I caused a massive traffic incident, killed 50 people. Oh my God. And you start hating yourself. Your life was better when you did not know that stuff. Knowing it, like, good, yeah, you can confront it. How are you feeling about yourself right now? Are you happy? So having this confront and awareness, like, it's a lot. But when people cannot confront it, when people cannot look at what they have done in past lives, and not necessarily just being the victim or causing pain to someone else, but doing it to yourself, that has the most charge. Anyway, I'm talking all over the place, but if you get the idea, one little exercise I would offer you to do is, again, look at your life and look at the places in your life where you're not getting what you want, or you feel limited, or maybe like always being abandoned, not being able to have a relationship, that guy, that girl's not noticing me, having financial issues, anything where you feel suppressed or limited, and it's like really hard to get any improvements. And then think, what would I have done in a past life to suppress myself to have this kind of result? If I'm afraid, or let's say if I'm not successful, if I don't have money, what I might have done in a past life where I've made a decision I should not be successful. I should not have money. Relationship? No. I don't want to hurt any more people or whatever. But not necessarily that you have to remember it. Just think of yourself being sci-fi or a fantasy book writer. It's all fake. It's all imaginary, not real, but it might be. And in this way, you can literally go into creating a scenario, but this will give you an idea of how you yourself might do something that you make a decision that you should be limited. And a lot of those decisions are affecting our lives today. So if you do this exercise and feel like sharing your story of what you think might be limiting you today and what you might have done, please share in the comments, because that will give you awareness and as well like this ability to confront things. Just looking at the possibility that you might have done something and then you've had a decision based on what you've done and the like consequences to limit yourself. And being able to look at that and a lot of variations will give you this clarity where you're able to confront those incidents, you have more awareness. So your mind, your consciousness will be able to look at those incidents in the past lives. You might get back some past life memories, or literally just being able to confront that something like this might have happened will literally lift off your case. You're just aware that this has happened and you're letting go simply by looking at it. Anyway, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.